Let me start with a question. When was the last time that you thought yourself as rich? Not comfortable, not doing okay, but rich. It is never too early to start planning for your retirement, and that's where our sponsor, Pension Bee, comes in. Pension Bee is on a mission to build pension confidence and create a world where everyone can enjoy a pension. So whether you've moved around jobs a lot and are looking to consolidate your pensions, one thing I've really come to appreciate is how important retirement planning actually is. My parents are now at pension age, and watching them navigate the complex world of pensions, retirement plans has really been eye-opening for me. It's been a real reminder that this stuff doesn't magically arrange itself when it's time to retire. It's never too early to start thinking about your future, so that's where our sponsor, Pension Bee, comes in. Pension Bee is on a mission to build pension confidence and create a world where everybody can enjoy a happy retirement. So whether you've moved jobs a few times and are looking to consolidate your pension because your pensions are scattered around all over the place, or you're self-employed and need a flexible pension that lets you contribute more when things are going well and less when things aren't, Pension Bee really makes it simple. You can bring your pensions together into one easy to manage plan so you can see everything clearly in one place and feel more in control of your future. Don't worry, signing up is really easy. We've put a link in the show notes. It's quick and it's straightforward. So if retirement feels far away for you, trust me, it comes around so much quicker than we think. So take control of your retirement with Pension Bee. And just a little reminder, when investing, your capital is at risk. For most of us in the UK, the word rich feels a little bit distant, a little bit icky. Maybe it belongs to someone that has a trust fund, that has really well-off parents, lives in a certain area, a big bank balance, a penthouse, that sort of thing.
We both come from families that work really hard. Both of our parents work really hard. We're very working class.
Be honest.
I am being honest. I am being
What car
honest.
did your dad drive you to school in?
So my dad did.
No, one answer.
My dad.
What car was it?
All right, it's not a simple answer
What
because.
What did you get your dad to drive?
It
you
depends.
To school in? No.
Okay,
What
in the
car?
80s,
What?
my dad had a Rolls Royce.
Thank you.
And yet, statistically, globally, and our infrastructure actually says that most people in the UK are rich, or at least richer than we think. Which is why the title of today's episode is You Are Richer Than You Think. But this isn't to dismiss financial stress, and it's not to pretend that the cost of living crisis is not actually happening. But let's just zoom out for a second and reanalyze what we describe as being rich and how we look at our lives when it comes to money. And it is heavily linked to success, our career, our identity, and our self-worth. Because richness isn't just about what's happening in your bank balance. And comparison, especially narrow comparison, really results in us feeling like we're not doing enough, and it robs our perspective and our peace. So let's talk about what rich actually means, how earning power in the UK compares globally, why many of us underestimate our financial position, and why wealth is more than money alone. Let's be honest, rich is a loaded word. In the UK, people often define rich as owning property outright, earning six figures, not worrying about bills, or having enough that money stress actually disappears. But globally, richness is defined differently, and it's also measured in a different way. Now let's break it down into these three lenses. Absolute wealth. Now, this is about basic needs. Can you access clean water? Do you have consistent food, shelter, healthcare, education? In some parts of the world, if you do not have money, then you're not going to get education. Now, if the answer is yes, that you do have access to these things, then you're already ahead of billions of people in the world. The second one is relative wealth. This is how you compare to people around you. And this is where many of us actually start to feel like we are poor because you're keeping up with the Joneses. You're just checking what your neighbors are doing. And this is made worse by access to social media and seeing what people are doing in their houses. Now we're comparing ourselves to colleagues, Instagram, family expectations. Now, relative wealth starts to distort reality. And you need to remember that what we see on social media or what people are driving doesn't actually reflect what's happening in their bank balance. We do not know what's genuinely happening. So I encourage you to just stop comparing yourself to other people. And the third is perceived wealth. Now, this is emotional. It's how rich or poor you actually feel, regardless of the numbers. Two people can earn the same salary. One actually feels abundant and the other feels like they're constantly behind. What that tells us is really important. And it's that wealth is not just financial, it's actually psychological. So let's zoom out. And here are some statistics for you. Globally, the average income is actually estimated between £7,000 and £8,000. Let that sink in. Well, what that means is if you're earning £30,000 in the UK, then you're in the top 10 to 20% globally. Honestly, once you start to have a bit of perspective, then you start to feel a little bit differently about your situation. If you're earning £50,000, then you're actually in the top 5 to 10% globally. And let's not talk about the £100,000 earners because they're in the top 1% worldwide. And this isn't about bragging or making you feel bad if you do feel like you are behind. It's just to give you some perspective. In some parts of the world, earning £30,000 will sustain you and you could look after your extended families. And let's remember that their healthcare is paid out of pocket, education is paid out of pocket, meaning one illness can set you back years of savings. In the UK, we do complain about tax. I am guilty of this because it just doesn't feel like we should be paying that much tax, but that tax actually funds a lot of the public services that we get to enjoy, like education for young people, like the NHS, disability support and pensions. Is the system perfect? Absolutely not. Nothing is. But it's great that it does exist. We are really comfortable compared to the rest of the world. And the power of the pound, the earning power, is still significantly more than the rest of the world. What I mean is what the pound can get you is more than other currencies. So here's the question. Why don't we feel rich? What's that about? Why does it feel so hard? And why does it feel like it keeps getting harder? Well, firstly, it's the cost of living, especially in the past 5 to 6 years post-pandemic. It really has been going up quite a lot and it's not matching the cost of how much you actually earn. Secondly, it's also lifestyle creep. I've got an episode about this. It is why you are still broke. I will put the link in the show notes. And it's all about explaining what lifestyle creep is, which really quickly, it is when you earn more, your lifestyle starts to increase in terms of the cost of your lifestyle. So maybe it could be that if you get a pay rise, then you upscale your house or you change your car to a newer model, which is more expensive. So that means that any extra that you might be earning is just being eroded by your lifestyle. Another reason that we don't feel like we're rich is we are comparing ourselves. We're comparing ourselves to others our age or others that are not even our age, people that would have started with more. Maybe their parents have more money, therefore they awarded it to them. I'm definitely guilty of this, especially around running a business and how much I can actually achieve. And I'm comparing myself to someone that would have started years before me, or someone that has access to resources that I don't. So we need to stop this. And then lastly, something that is not within our control is the economy and the structure of the finance system that we're placed in. I just recorded an episode about student finance, and if you are in that bracket of people that are being essentially taxed, like having a graduate tax of 9% above a certain amount, then it means that you have less left in your bank account compared to others. There are housing costs that are really high as well, especially if you live in a bigger city. It keeps going up. I'm not even going to talk about London, but I know especially Manchester, Birmingham, Leeds, the cost of renting is going up. You might have some caring responsibilities as well that we really cannot ignore, because this is costing you more, and maybe your earning potential won't go up because you're caring for others, which is a good thing. But this will make you feel like you're not where you want to be. And it can get really expensive when you're caring for someone, the equipment that you need, maybe the extra support from a care facility that you might need in-house as well. So we really cannot ignore that. Feeling rich isn't just about income, it's about security. And many people earn good money but feel unsafe. And that's not failure, that's context. I'm from Zimbabwe. I was born in Zimbabwe, and I would say that I've lived a middle class life. Even in Zimbabwe, things were really good, and my parents did really well in terms of making sure that their children had education, and we had the health care, and we had all our needs met. We had food every day. So I really do feel like I'm one of the people that are privileged. And then we moved to another country where we became lower class, I would say. However, with them working so hard and just building their lives, again, didn't want for anything. And I managed to then go to university, studied a good degree, and I went and got a grad scheme, and I've been in finance as an accountant, meaning that I'm earning more than most in the UK. And I definitely acknowledge how lucky I was in that scenario, especially having caring parents that love you as well. But there was a time earlier on in my life where I did feel like, oh my God, I have nothing. I have nothing, and I'm comparing myself to other people that seem to be better off than myself. And I did fall into this trap, and that's where this financial wellness comes from. Roots to Fruits is all about putting a link between your mindset, your mental health, and your finances. And it's not just looking at money as a vanity metric, it's more looking at it as a tool to look after you, a tool for the wellness that you might be seeking. So I really love that the work that I'm doing with Roots to Fruits has really put quite a lot into perspective. And it's hard if you're coming from Africa for you to feel like, oh, I'm not doing well. Well, I'll be looking at my loved ones that are back home and seeing that I'm doing way better than them. I've got freedom, as a woman, as a Black woman, to be able to do what I like to do with my time and my money as well. So I definitely see where I've got the privilege. And the point of this episode was to just help people reflect on that. Not to say that if you are in a particular situation, it's not to bring down your situation or to make light of it. Absolutely not. This is just for the majority that might think that they're worse off than they are, when actually they're doing quite great. So it's more of a motivational and an encouraging message. So here's an activity that I'm going to ask you to do to start to measure your wealth and how rich you are in a different way. So first, we're going to widen the definition of being rich and maybe put aside the money aspect and think of it as, well, how much time do I actually have? Do you have control over your schedule? Do you have flexibility, and can you weave in some rest in your schedule? If yes, then actually you're richer than you think. because many high earners actually don't have this. Second, it is health. How's your physical health? How's your mental health? If this is positive and you feel like, you know what, I'm healthy, I get to do whatever I can or want to do with my body, then you're richer than you think. And let's not forget about your emotional health as well. Without health, money is really worthless. Health is wealth. If you have a community around you, some support, people that love you, people that you can go to when you need something, then you are richer than you think. Loneliness is expensive. Having friends, family, loved ones, belonging, it's really important for us as human beings. Next, it's knowledge. So having financial literacy, education, and experience can really turn things around. Knowledge compounds. It's very quiet, but it's very powerful over time. And lastly, another way that you can measure how wealthy you are is checking to see if you've got choice. Do you have freedom? The ability to say no to something, the ability to walk away from a situation. Can you leave unsafe spaces? And do you have the ability to pivot, to change direction? That could be your career, that could be your relationship, that could be anything. Do you have that access? Do you have that choice? Do you have that freedom to walk away from something and pivot? Choice is one of the clearest markers of wealth. You can acknowledge privilege without guilt. And also you can want more without denying what you already have. Both things can exist. So instead of asking, am I rich? Try asking, well, compared to what or who? In which areas of my life do I already have abundance? How can I build security, not just income? Because richness isn't about just money. It's about perspective, choice, and peace. You're probably richer than you think, and recognizing that doesn't mean that you stop striving. It means that you stop shrinking yourself, because richness isn't just about money. It's about perspective, choice, and peace. You're probably richer than you think. And recognizing that doesn't mean that you stop striving. It means that you stop shrinking yourself. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me know what else you'd like me to discuss in the comments. And you can email us at talktous@rootstofruits.com. I'm so excited to keep growing this community and for us to just feel more grounded in our current selves, in our current situation, whilst we're striving for more. That is all for us today, guys. Join us next week for some more seeds to sow. And please remember to support us by following and leave a rating on our show on whichever platform you're listening to us from. To those watching on YouTube, please leave a like and a subscribe to our channel. All of your support goes a long way. Thank you so much for joining us today. And remember, keep shining.